Uh-oh.
And welcome back to the Unfiltered Sports Weekly. I'm the Beebs.
Kev is present.
St. Joe also present.
Just present. All right. Well, so we're having one of those experiences. So I was listening to a new podcast today, guys. You want to know what the name of it was?
Yes.
It was called Show Me Your Trips.
Yeah.
So anyone
listened
listening to
to
this
it.
should run out there and find it on any one of your podcast providers because it's fabulous. Who doesn't want to know about your trips?
Dude, I've got like some questions about the trips, and so that's why I'm going to tune in because I was explaining to St. Joe earlier today that we are actually efforting where we're going to do our summer vacation,
Yes.
the cruise has been brought up,
Mhm.
because believe it or not, the Keb has never been on a cruise.
Yikes.
Keb, you
You know
would
what I'm
like
saying?
cruises.
Yeah,
You
that's
would
what I
like a
hear.
cruise.
That's what I hear. And I hear you got to get the drink package. And I just learned this evening that there are specialty restaurants that you pay for separately,
Yes.
There is.
but there's no real reason to do that because you get all the food that you want,
That's true.
Yeah.
for what and that Carnival is the devil. And
Depending on what age you are.
and
Yes.
I find it hilarious that Royal Caribbean goes to Iceland. I just find that funny, because Royal Caribbean, and that's
Yeah.
it's gonna go.
That's because they're who they're owned by. But that's
It's all owned by the World Bank. You know what I'm saying? And 5G towers created COVID.
oh boy.
Birds aren't real,
Oh boy.
Is there more?
and the Florida Panthers are going to win the Stanley Cup.
Could happen.
It very well could happen.
Could happen.
Florida teams are good, and people underestimate them.
I find that hilarious too. I don't know if you see my thing here. I am the head.
No, I'm
of
going to
the
stop
F-
you right
of
there.
the
I certainly
Florida.
don't see your thing.
Yeah, I am the head of the Florida Panthers bandwagon.
Okay.
I'm jumping on that bitch. I've not watched one Florida Panthers game this year, but as a pseudo lifetime resident of Florida, I'm adopting them just to piss off my wife because she's a Penguins fan.
Of course. Everything has to do with Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Does she only eat Heinz products?
No,
Okay.
but you won't find Hunt's ketchup at my house.
Okay.
You spend the extra fucking dollar, buy some Heinz. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we even got Heinz relish.
Okay.
I'm a big relish fan.
Okay.
I don't want to cut up a
mean-
fucking pickle. I want the Heinz relish in the
So I wonder who-
stand up thing.
Does Heinz sell the Christmas pickle?
Got one of those on our tree.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You know,
Okay. Well,
but again, let me repeat: hiding the Christmas pickle means something way different in my house.
right. Right. Yeah.
So, Kev, were you out and about today? Is
I
what you're
was.
saying?
I was. I traveled. What'd you call Daytona, North Florida, or did you call it Central
Sorta.
Florida?
It's
It's not quite. It's not quite Space Coast because that's more like
No.
Cocoa
I'd
and all
call
that.
it. I think it borders on Central.
Yeah,
well,
Oh,
East Central, right?
yeah. Well, anyhow, I was down that way,
Yeah.
and
So, somebody turned the oven on here. In
yeah,
Florida.
yeah. No shit.
Like
The
2
oven's
weeks
been
ago,
on.
not bad. Last week was okay. This week, it's the swamp and it's hot.
Yeah.
It's Florida. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. No, we
It's a
made
little
it.
too
We made
early
it
for it,
into
but-
May.
I have a sneaking suspicion that does not forebode well for hurricanes. But
Right. Well, the water's gonna get hot as
Hot.
fuck quickly, and but I mean, yesterday was the unofficial start of summer.
Right.
You know, I
Right.
mean, Memorial Day is typically viewed as, or Memorial Day weekend is typically viewed as the unofficial start of summer.
Right.
I'm sure Show Me Your Trips will go through that, at one time or another, and get your summer plans together,
Right.
so back to the most important thing about a cruise is the drink package.
That's right. It is by far the most.
you
It is
know,
the most argued about thing on the cruise. On should
Hey,
you get it or should you not get it?
hey, St. Joe, have you ever gotten the package where you can go in the Hydra Spa?
No.
Oh,
No.
Kev, you should go in the Hydra Spa one time
what the
at least.
fuck is a hydro spa?
So you go. There is a giant portion of the ship devoted to this. Did you know about this, St. Joe?
Yeah.
So the spa is back there. You can get like massages stuff, and they do the ladies' nails and stuff like that. But they have what's called a Hydra Spa, and you go back in there, and there's like all these like lounge chairs. There's saunas that are basically built into the side of the ship to where you're in the sauna, but you're staring out the window into out onto the ocean while you're doing the sauna thing. But then there's this big pool like area where you go in and there's all sorts of jets where you can massage. There's a bubble bed. Have you guys ever been on a bubble bed? Have you ever
I
heard
think
of
we
this?
have a different idea of what that is, but I know what you're talking about.
Basically, it shoots bubble like you lay on it, and it shoots bubbles and massages your back. And then there's all sorts of like um, various things that can massage all the muscles on your body essentially inside the Hydra Spa. And then there's eucalyptus steam showers,
Sure.
which is
Yeah.
fantastic. Like you could like if you went in there feeling like you had like bad allergies or your nasal cavities were full or something like that, you could not leave that place not feeling good.
I spend my time in two places: the bars and the
Bar, yeah,
casinos.
and in the restaurants, right?
No, not really.
Yeah,
I mean,
casinos are fun, but when
yeah, yeah,
they're a good time. They're
yeah,
good shows too.
yeah.
Shows
I
are
like the piano bars and
Yeah. The
and
Neil
then
Diamond impersonators.
yeah.
Sure.
Once I get a few drinks in me, then we hit the karaoke bars.
Love on the
and that stuff.
rocks,
So
Yeah.
yeah,
on
yeah.
the boats and on the planes.
We're
Yeah.
coming to America.
It's all good. It's all good. But yeah, yeah. The comedians and the fun stuff, and yeah, it's good.
They got karaoke.
They got the karaoke for sure.
Oh shit!
For sure.
They
It's
also
good.
got stand-up comedy.
Yeah, they do have
It's all
comedians
free.
on there.
It's all
Oh,
free.
we-
You just walk
Oh,
in.
we gonna go heckle those people.
They have the nice show, which is
Like the
early, and then
family-friendly
the
show?
mature show at night. So, yeah, it's good. It's good. I like cruising. I think cruising.
Fuck the family show.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. But the drink. Back to the drink package. It is the most argued about thing because it's it's either are you going to do it or not, and if you're going to do it, then buy it. If not, then don't. I mean, it's just
Well,
one of
how
those
many
things.
drinks do you have to drink to make it worth it?
Depends on the cruise line now. Some of
Yeah.
them have made it unlimited.
Right. So it's like $250, right?
Yeah, I mean it's like $60 a day then typically.
Yeah.
But-
I've been on one-
I just heard unlimited.
Yeah,
Yes, it's unlimited. Like so, on some ships I've been on, they're unlimited, and
beer.
then on some of them, it's like 40 drinks a day.
Yeah, you get 15 drinks per person.
Yeah, if
on
you're
some
going
of them.
40 drinks a day and you drink that, you know what they call that? They call it alcohol poisoning.
Yeah.
So
You know what
I
I'm
just
saying?
was,
I
you know,
mean-
I'm on all these blogs and I do all this, which I think is hilarious. And one person had a clicker, like the attendance clicker,
Yeah, yeah.
and they went and they took pictures of it, and they came back from a 7-day cruise, and they had 276 drinks on one of their clickers.
What?
And I was like, whoa. I mean,
That's too much.
That's phenomenal. That I mean, that is work in the system there.
The question is,
I'm
do they
like-
remember any of it?
Well, I mean, you get to a point you're like, geez, but Yeah, there's a point that you just have to cut somebody off, and they're like, okay, but hey,
So
if
the
you're having
question is,
fun and you're doing whatever,
the question is there an Atlanta Braves cruise?
I'm
That's what
sure.
we're
Yeah,
looking
there's
for,
a.
right?
So my buddy goes on the Bucks cruise.
Yeah.
That is
yeah?
ideally that would be my goal would be to set up like a Jags cruise or something like
Yeah,
that
that'd be
where I
cool.
could get my. That would be something that would be great. Yeah,
Yeah.
that
Like I
would
guess some
be
players
super
go,
cool.
or
Yeah,
you hang
exactly.
out with the player. Yeah.
Yep. On the last one, the Big Nasty who was on the show,
Mhm.
he did I made an appearance, and then there was Warren Sapp was on there. I think Derek Brooks, a couple of retired players were on there and did a couple different things, and they had signings and a couple different things like that. And yeah, that's kind of cool.
If Warren Sapp's on there, you know some illegal shit's about to go down.
Well, he did get in a little bit of trouble, but yeah, but it was all good. But
Yeah, he went
yeah,
to Miami.
that would be fun though. I think that would be fun. But
Well, speaking of players, did you guys see Bill Walton passed away?
yeah, yeah.
I mean, that's sad.
That guy,
I like him.
that guy did some crazy shit in his life, man.
I heard somebody say today that he arguably is the best college basketball player ever.
Hmm.
With him, now listen to these three. Okay, him. Do you guys know who Lou Alcindor is?
Sure.
Yeah, how could you not?
Okay, and Christian Leitner.
Boy, that's a weird
the
three.
three best college basketball players ever.
What about the kid from UNC? Broke all the records.
Which guy from UNC?
Tyler Hansbrough.
Okay, well, he doesn't have a Christian Leitner moment.
Yeah.
That's
Christian
true.
Leitner has.
Yeah, he did. They won the NCAA title with him.
Yeah,
I mean,
but not in the fashion of Grant Hill throwing it all the way down the damn court.
that's
Yeah.
true.
You
Not
know,
memorable. Not as memorable.
Right. I mean, how good was that team when Grant Hill is inbounding the pass?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so I just thought that was Kareem, maybe Bill Walton. I mean, my memory of his NBA career was plagued with his feet issue.
Breaking.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
So but
That was back when you could only start playing basketball as a sophomore at UCLA. They didn't let freshmen play.
right. Did you know in 1972 UCLA won the national championship? Trivia question: who did they play?
What was the year?
1972.
Good question.
Kansas.
Jacksonville University
No way.
Well, there you go.
That's cool.
with
That's cool.
Artist Gilmore and crew.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Interesting. Well, yeah, Bill Walton. Yeah, that's sad. Yeah, good player. I don't all-time college. I don't know. I don't
Is
know
he
if
a
he
Hall
would
of
be
Famer?
all-time college. Yeah, he's got to be a Hall of Famer.
An NBA
Yeah.
Hall of Famer?
I think he I don't know if it's not called the NBA Hall of Fame, it's called the Pro Basketball Hall of Fame.
I'm sorry.
You know,
He never averaged. He only
He's
10-year
gotta be.
career. 10-year career only averaged his highest points or point average per game was not even 19 points a game.
Yeah, but you got to look at the time. I mean, at the time, that's probably a lot of points.
Bill Walton was enshrined into the Hall of Fame in 1993.
Okay.
For a
He was
big
good.
man.
He was really good in Portland before he got hurt. Like
Yeah.
really good.
Sure.
Yeah. He beat Lou Alcindor. I think the Bucks when he was playing for Portland. Is that right?
That sounds probably right.
Early. It was early in his career. Like
If they
maybe
were
year
calling
2.
him Lou Alcindor, then it had to be with the Bucks.
Yep.
Did you guys watch the show Winning Time about the 80s Lakers on HBO?
No.
No, I
It was-
never
it-
really.
It was pretty good. I think they ended it too quick. They're only going to do 2 seasons.
No.
But it was pretty good. Shows you how dysfunctional LA was back then, even though they were kicking the shit out of people, and how nothing's really changed out in LA where they depicted it was really Magic Johnson who was kind of running the team, from top to bottom, choosing the coaches and all that. And funny how, LeBron is doing the same thing now.
That doesn't really surprise me about Magic, but
yeah, which I don't know if they've hired a coach out in LA yet, but
I don't think so.
I know they were talking to JJ Redick.
Okay, I have a list of honors from the UCLA years for Bill Walton. So in his conference, he was first in points, rebounds. In 1974, he was first in assists. He was first in all 3 years in true shooting percentage. He was first all 3 years in total rebounds per game. And he was first in total field goals per game all 3 years he played for UCLA.
Okay, and sticking with Bill Walton here, if you Google who is the best college basketball player ever, okay, a guy named Pete Maravich comes up.
Oh,
yeah.
He's the one everybody forgets about for some reason, right?
And Bill Walton is second. Some say he was the best all-around player. And Christian Laettner is third. Some clown named Austin Carr is fourth. And then you get into women, Kelsey Plum, and then, of course, Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark was better than Kelsey Plum.
All right, Caitlin Clark's averaging 15.4 right now, and that's tops for rookies, and it's 19th in the league.
Yeah, for being a rookie, never playing,
Yeah, I think she's finding that they play defense in the WNBA.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. And she's having some trouble with ball handling skills because she's still trying to handle it like she did at Iowa. But I think 15.4 as a rookie. I mean, anybody take that.
What's funny is it's because maybe she has some other players on the team that are better than the ones she was playing with at Purdue.
Sure, and I think she's getting a bunch of double doubles now, but I think get towards the end of the season, you're going to see some triple doubles out of her.
Well, she's also not getting the fouls that
Right.
the calls that she was getting, in college for sure. But that's pretty evident with her complaining and whining.
But the opportunity that she has to change the landscape of the WNBA. And to change, basically, I don't want to say put it on the map because it was on the map before, no disrespect to the women that were playing in it before, but, you're not Caitlin Clark. But all these chatty bitches that have a fucking problem with how she's handling herself, shut the fuck up.
They should be thanking her. I mean, the price of tickets have gone up.
You have sold out arenas.
Mm-hmm. What is wrong with the way she's handling it?
Nothing.
Why are they complaining?
Because they're fucking women, and that's what they fucking do.
Yeah, they're just jealous of what's happening. Is what the case is. Is that
makes sense?
They're mad that she got a chartered plane home and they had to ride the bus. Well,
yeah, but now everybody gets charter planes.
Yeah, so big deal.
Everybody gets charter planes.
So
it's not her fault that plane that you speak of was paid for by a sponsor.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So it's not like the Fever fucking paid for her to fly back and nobody else.
Yeah, and here's my answer to that. If you don't like it, do better. So.
We got a sighting. Oh, look at this.
So
I'm so happy.
He's there.
I'm so happy.
If you don't like it, do better. So, but it's funny that you bring up the WNBA because I just saw a article before we came on the air, and I don't know if Beebs has seen it, but you remember we had a conversation a couple weeks ago about how the NBA was, I think, I don't know, maybe 8th or 9th in like the most popular sports.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a conversation about viewership and where the money came from and how the salaries of the players and the supermax contracts and everything like that, and then how.
No, I don't think we weren't talking about salary. Salary, they're up there.
Sure, but then it was all about how the WNBA was sponsored or basically paid for by the
NBA.
NBA, and it was losing money, and it was like, where is all that money coming from, and why is it ranked 8th, and so on and so forth. You remember that?
Yeah.
I mean, I
Okay.
remember the conversation. Yes.
Perfect. Well, there was an article that came out today that the NBA is set to sign a $7 billion contract that comes solely from viewership, solely from I should have pulled it. I should have saved it up. It's solely from
TV
contracts.
providers? Like
What's
TV
that?
providers? TV providers?
Yes, solely. It has nothing to do with who watches the show or the games. It only has to do with TV contracts and rights of where the show can be watched.
Okay.
So markets, so whatever, however you want to frame that, a $7 billion contract. So they are thinking that the next Supermax contract could approach $95 million a year.
That's crazy. Did you know, I just looked this up, but in 2021, the TV contract negotiation for the NFL, like what you're talking about,
Mm-hmm.
is $110 billion.
Yeah. 110
billion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With a B.
Yeah.
With a B. And the NBA is $7 billion.
Yeah.
Their contractual sharing, or their CBA, their revenue sharing with the owners
Mm-hmm.
in the NBA must be like out of whack.
Yeah.
So with the TV contract for the NBA, they're shopping it, and TNT may lose it, right?
Mhm.
Which means the greatest part of the NBA is up for grabs, which is the show with Ernie Johnson and
Right.
Barkley and Shaq
Right.
and all that. And I read an article today that Charles Barkley is going to basically hire those guys into his production company and shop that show.
That's awesome. That's great. Well, what's going to happen is it's because of this contract. I think what's going to happen is it's slowly going to morph into what the NFL is doing. And where if you want to watch games, you're going to have Netflix. You're going to have Peacock. You're going to have Amazon Prime. You're going to have A, B, C, D, E, F, G in order to watch these games. And that's unfortunately, that's what it's going to come to in order to watch certain amount of games, because you can buy the MLB package, you can buy NFL, what's it called? I guess the NFL package or whatever. It used to be DirecTV that had it, but no.
YouTube TV has it now. You're talking about the NFL ticket.
NFL ticket. Thank
Yeah.
you. So you can buy NBA Pass or whatever it's called. But all these things that you have to do, if you want to see every single game for the NFL this year, you got to pay almost $900 just because of the fees and every single program that you have to have. That's insane.
Yeah, I get pissed off watching my team lose. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, I don't want to watch any other. I don't give a fuck about the Chiefs that much. Do you know? Speaking of the NFL and their fucking schedule, do you know, just guess without looking, what week is the first 1:00 game for the Kansas City Chiefs? Or what week is a non-marquee matchup, meaning not nationally televised?
They
They don't have one. Surely it's Kansas City, right? Is it their
it's Kansas
bye week?
City. They do have a couple that aren't the marquee games of the week.
It's probably when Taylor Swift is somewhere.
Their first 1:00 game is week motherfucking 10.
Wow. Yeah.
That's crazy. Did you guys see this?
Free Scotty.
They're gonna drop. They're gonna drop the charges.
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah.
I read a report.
They got to.
I read a report that they have all this video footages, all this video footage, and the DA was actually going to press charges on Scotty Scheffler, and then they released all the video footage, like the public's, like
Yeah.
they record it with their cameras type
Sure.
footage, and it appeared that Scotty Scheffler didn't really do anything wrong, and they arrested him anyway. Like the guy didn't have his hand on the car or anything. Like he was just yelling at Scotty to stop, and then when Scotty stopped, that's when he put his hands on the car and then just ripped him out of the car and slammed him against his own car. And he doesn't even look like a cop. He's like wearing a yellow jersey, and there's no way to tell the dude's even a cop. And they arrested him.
And it was dark.
Right.
You know, it was
Raining.
before dawn. You know, there's lights going on everywhere because of the crash. You know, I mean, what a bad look for the Louisville, you know, the Louisville Police Department. I mean, I don't know how much worse of a look they could get with the whole Breonna Taylor thing, but you know,
Yeah.
I think while we're talking about golf here for a second, we'd be remiss to send our thoughts to the family of Grayson Murray.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's been a rough week for
yeah.
sure.
Passed away after withdrawing from the second round of this week's tournament in Texas.
Yeah.
You know, found unresponsive and passed away Saturday morning.
Yeah.
That was
What's,
a bit of a shocker, I think.
I don't know if it was a shocker. I mean, if you look at his interviews that he had, and he talked pretty openly about the problems that he had with depression and anxiety and everything that he was dealing with. So I think that, yeah, I mean, it's always a shock when something like that happens, but I think that there are plenty of signs to say that there was some trouble there.
I mean, he
By the
placed
way-
well at the PGA, and I mean, he was
Yeah.
top 60 in the world.
And he won a tournament.
Yeah, he won
long ago.
the Sony, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
Well, in positive news,
Okay.
we need to shift to something positive. Angel Hernandez.
Oh fuck
wanna-
yeah.
I want to hear your take on that. Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know if I've ever said it before, but Major League Baseball umpires are the worst officials in all of professional sports. Yeah, I may have said that a time or two.
Yeah.
So I'm chilling last night. You know, I'm watching actually watching some hockey. You know, and so, I'm watching that, and my phone just starts lighting up, and I'm like, okay, what happened here? Did they find Trump guilty? You know, I mean, you know, something's going on here, and I have never seen a community, meaning the baseball community, come together in one as one. Then with the news that Angel Hernandez has retired. This guy, this year, a guy for the Toronto Blue Jays. Okay, so the one manager right now that's very funny to piss off because he gets so worked up real quick is Aaron Boone for the New York Yankees, right? he gets very worked up. So
Got a short
and
fuse. Yeah,
a
short.
very short fuse. This pitcher for the Blue Jays stepped off of the rubber, back onto the rubber, threw a pitch, and the pitch wasn't even in the zone. Angel Hernandez calls it strike three. Right? Number one, that's a balk. Okay?
Right.
You can't
That's a
step
base.
off and step back on. That's a balk. Okay? There are two runners on. And number three, the ball was a foot over the zone. A foot over the zone. And I think he was bad for baseball. I think the only person that didn't want him to retire was C.B. Buckner because now he's the worst. But I think that, you know, as a show, we should all sing the praises that Angel Hernandez is no longer, he has umpired his last Major League Baseball game. And
Do
he
you think
said
it
it's-
was like? You think it was like mutual consent? Like you either retire or we're gonna fire you.
I think so. I've been saying for years, and finally people were like, to send. There has to be. There currently is no retribution for bad umping. Yeah, I mean, there's not. So blows a call. Like 2 years ago, the Dodgers were playing the San Francisco Giants in the playoffs. It was Game 5 of the division series, and the first base ump on a borderline check swing called it a strike, which it wasn't. I mean, it could have been, but it was a borderline call, non-reviewable call. Calls it a strike. Series over. Dodgers go to the National League Championship Series. Yeah, I think that was actually 2001 or 21. Anyhow, probably should have been a non-call. Probably.
Situation,
And,
yeah.
in that situation, which, you get more of these bad umpires, and I'm for keeping the human element in baseball. You do need to have some replays in certain situations, but you really, with the bad umping specifically behind the plate, you're looking at a challenge system for balls and strikes, which it's working in AAA. It's working in
Right,
AAA.
man, that slow down play so bad.
It really doesn't, because I've been to a handful of AAA games this year, and what happens is if they're there's only 3 people that can call the challenge on a ball or strike: the pitcher, the catcher, or the batter. Okay. Managers can't, and what they do is they tap their head, and then I don't know if you've ever watched tennis when they challenge a call, but it's similar to that. They put it up on the screen so everybody could see it, and they show the pitch being pitched and whether it hit the zone or not. So you're getting real time, just like the ump is watching the screen too. Everybody in the stadium can see the replay, and it's totally computerized, totally, AI or whatever, and they only get 3 challenges per game. So, and I don't know if you lose a challenge, do you just lose that challenge, but you get 3 a game, but only the pitcher, the batter, or the catcher can call it. And typically if it's a ball that they think is a strike, the catcher's calling it. And if it's a strike that they think it's a ball, then the batter's calling it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but it seems to work okay. But to put that in the major leagues, because once they usually introduce a rule, they don't really take it away.
Right.
The only thing that they've taken away was this stupid rule that doubleheaders had to be 7 innings apiece. And they did that for a season, and then that's not done anymore.
Well, so yeah, I remember over the last couple of years sending you videos of Angel Hernandez calls that were not even close. You don't need a replay. You shouldn't have to have a replay for that.
The most famous one in the past 3 years is the Bryce Harper check swing.
Oh, yeah. That was bad. Bad.
I mean, it wasn't even a quarter swing.
Right.
It was just like he moved his bat like that, just, flinching at the pitch, and then Angel Hernandez is down third base, rung him up, and my thing is, there were kids that came to see Bryce Harper.
Right. And he got thrown out of the game.
And he got tossed out of the game. And at some point, you got to look at Major League Baseball has to look at stuff like that and say, this guy is bad for the game. Fans are bitching. Kev is bitching. They talk about me. I'm a stockholder, Atlanta Braves. The Atlanta Braves are one of 2 professional sports teams that are publicly traded. Can you name the other one? Come on,
Green Bay.
Yeah, Green Bay. But see, so when I say we, I truly mean we. I'm a fucking stockholder. God damn it! They need to consult me.
Sure.
They should.
Right. But yeah, I mean, it's good for the game that he's gone. CB Buckner's next. He's going to be. I mean, until they're all gone. I mean, these people have, like Angel Hernandez had like a 20%, job approval rating, or whatever they call it.
I just can't figure out why they didn't have a system in place that actually makes those guys go and ump in like lower leagues.
Yeah, relegation system.
I mean, that's what they do in other sports, isn't it?
No.
I
They
don't think
don't?
they do that in the NFL now. Do you guys remember a couple years ago when the NFL umps went on strike, and then the replacement
better.
refs were so bad? The
Mhm.
replacement refs were so bad. The fans were like, "Okay, make a deal with the refs."
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know?
no, there's no other sports where the umps they just they just come up and they do it. There's nothing. There's no punishments or anything that where they get
Well,
sent down.
there's
or do
one
anything.
sport where they get sent down, but you guys, it's soccer. I mean, like the referees will get relegated if they're bad.
Yeah,
They get sent down to the lower leagues.
yeah, that makes sense.
I don't think though that the refs in soccer have. Do they really have that much say on the outcome of a game? You know,
Yeah,
I mean,
the answer is
you
yes.
know, and not like baseball and football though.
Yes.
You know, I mean, the average score of a fucking soccer game is half a fucking goal to nothing.
Well, if you make
You
a
know?
if you make a bad call and you give one of the teams a red card, that team now operates with one less person for the entire rest of the game.
Yeah, they
So
can't
if it's a
replace that
bad
guy.
call,
They can't
no,
replace
they
that
can't
guy.
send anybody out. They have to play with 10 guys instead of 11 for the rest of the game.
That sucks.
So if you make the wrong call, which happens all the time, they make poor penalty decisions, which actually, as you stated, low scoring games, if a penalty is given and they score and they win because of it, and it's the wrong call, that changes the outcome of a game.
But it's the wrong call according to who?
According to the rules, they actually have written rules about what constitutes a foul or a red card or
So how is
You
it the wrong call?
so if a guy in the up for a penalty box for instance, guys flop all the time,
Right.
time, and even though they've inserted video assistant referee, which is like replay officials now,
Mhm.
they still get it wrong. Like you're watching and you're like, how is that a foul? The dude just fell over. No one even touched him, and he fell over, and you gave a penalty for that. It happens every week. They make a bad call and they give a penalty, and the team wins by a goal because of that stuff. It happens still, and like it's so bad that they're talking about throwing out their replay system because that's how bad the refs have been with it.
Right, but that's not the ref's fault. If they're doing what they're saying they need to do, how is that the ref's fault? How is that the ref's fault?
If they make poor calls,
But they're making the right call.
No, they're not. If they're not making the right call, it happens every week. That's what I'm trying to tell you is they make bad calls and it affects the outcome of the game. Kind of like what Angel Hernandez was doing.
But if it's but I don't understand, because if it's written down that it has to be that way, how can it be a wrong call?
Because people don't make the right decisions. It's just like umpiring. There's written rules in baseball, and the umpires make bad calls.
Right.
Same thing.
So
Same thing.
So then isn't it up to the coach, however, to overcome that call?
They can't. There's no challenge system.
But it's just like any sport. Isn't it just you have to play better and do better to overcome that call?
Right. Look,
So
you can say
it's
that
just
about
an
you can say that about any sport. I don't know why you're bringing it up
just
about this sport in particular.
It's just an excuse to say, well, my team lost because of a bad call.
Well, I mean, it is, except for it affects the outcome of the game, and it's the referee.
No, it doesn't. It's just an
Hey, look,
excuse.
man, my team loses by a bad call all the fucking time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, shine the fact Trevor Lawrence dropped the motherfucking ball all the time. Did you know he has 21 fucking fumbles over the past 3 fucking years?
Sure.
Sorry. You go
But
back
is
to
that but whose fault is that?
that's a fucking ref's fault.
Right. That's the ref's fault because it was a bad call.
Well, no, in the one game, or in one of the games I watched for the Jags last year, this is a great, for instance. They called a phantom holding penalty at the end of a game, right?
Sure.
You guys remember that night game where they called a holding penalty on a guy? It wasn't even a hold. And then that took away, a field goal or a touchdown?
No, it took away that fucking big-ass gain that Calvin Ridley
right. And then he
had
missed a
down
field
there.
Goal to win the game.
Right.
And it wasn't
that was
really a
against
hold,
the Bengals. That was the start of my alcoholism. And And that's what led to, it's the Jaguars' fault that fuck them.
Well, but I mean, I know what you're saying, but at the same time, it's not. It's up to the team to, if it's a bad call or whatever, to just. I mean, you can argue it both ways to say they have to do better to overcome.
No, I mean, like, so in the Premier League and in soccer and also in baseball, I know that and in the NBA they do this. They do a post game review of the referee and how he does. Like that's in their charter or whatever, in their agreement, is that they'll do and eventually, if in the post game review they realize he made multiple errors and it affected the outcome of the game, he gets sent down.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You're of course you're correct. You have to overcome the adversity that comes with a bad call if you're out on the field. But their system of, hey, if you're doing a poor job, then we're gonna move you down a league and force you to perform better in order to move up. That I always assumed that umpiring in baseball was like that. I always thought that they would move down if they weren't any good, but I guess that's not a true thing.
So okay, so let me ask you a question. Did you watch the Beckham thing on Netflix or Amazon Prime or whatever?
Yeah. Well, it was on Netflix.
Okay. So when he switched teams, when he went from Manchester and he switched
Real Madrid
or wherever, Real Madrid, and he switched teams, was that his fault?
Was that Beckham's fault?
Yeah.
No, he wanted to go, and they spent him and they paid him a buttload of money to go play there.
Right. And then he became the most hated man in soccer, and he had to come back and redo and basically like win back the people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he had to rebuild his reputation.
So as far as like his personal reputation, not his soccer playing reputation, because that never went away. He never played poorly as far as playing for Real Madrid was concerned. He never really had a bad season.
Well, right, it just was for the wrong teams.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, I mean they weren't happy that he moved on, but nobody knew that he was just sold. Like they didn't like that Manchester United just sold him. I don't know why they.
Yeah, but good and evil is the point of view.
Right. Right.
Okay. I mean, you're going to find that most of the truths that we hold on to widely depend on our point of view.
Anyway, I assume you're trying to make some sort of point and connect that to how referees, how it somehow is similar to refereeing. I'm waiting for it to happen though.
Right. If it's the referee's fault that's the wrong call or anything, is it in because I'm trying to connect the soccer where it's their fault and I can't get past that, and that's the reason that we lose the game. So if it's Beckham's fault that he wants to go and he had to rebuild his reputation, I'm trying to see was it his fault?
Scott, I was never making the point that that it doesn't happen in every sport that bad calls get made and that teams have to overcome adversity, and it's not the only thing that happens in a game. It was if a referee makes a bad call and in the review after the game, after the post game, is that he made several bad calls, then he should be held accountable for those, even though it doesn't change the outcome of the game.
All right, let me ask you this. Here's a great question. You guys remember that Monday Night Football game, KC versus Buffalo?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, towards the end of the game, they threw a pass to Mahomes threw a pass to Travis Kelce, and he lateraled it to Kadarius Toney, and
That's
Toney ran it in for a touchdown.
Sure.
But it was called back because Toney was lined up lined up in the neutral zone. So was that a bad call or was that on Toney?
That was on Toney.
It was
on
on Toney.
Right call. But they were saying it's the bad. Like if you're a Kansas City fan, you're saying it's a bad call because you don't ever call that or blah blah blah. But the flag was on the ground before the play even commenced.
Right. What I'm saying is that when Angel Hernandez calls strike 3 in the fucking NLCS and it's 4 feet fucking outside, that's a bad fucking call.
Right. And there should be some accountability for that. That's kind of what I was trying to say. Is like,
and the accountability that they need is if you've ever watched The Walking Dead, Negan's accountability. That's what we got.
Right.
Real quick, I got some trivia for you.
Wait, who won that game?
What?
Who ended up winning the Kansas City and Bills game?
The Bills.
Yeah, didn't the Bills win that game?
Did they win it because of that play? I think that's right.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, but it was
They
on
would have
Tony
lost
though.
if that play had
That's
finished.
right. That's
Yeah,
right.
had they
would've
not
lost because
had
of
they
that.
not called it, yeah, I mean, it would have happened with like 20 seconds to go.
Yeah,
Right.
I think that's right.
If the
Okay.
refs had done a bad job, a different team would have won the game. Yeah, would have changed
All right.
the entire outcome.
Real quick,
Yeah.
I want to see how many of these you get. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, in the United States, we're not doing the world, okay? Because we talked about soccer enough, okay? So in the United States, we talk about soccer way more than we talk about baseball. Can you name the most popular sports franchises?
Well, the
The
Yankees,
most popular.
Yeah,
New York Yankees,
the New York Yankees are number one.
LA Lakers,
The LA Lakers are fifth.
Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys. Yeah.
Dallas Cowboys are not in the top 10.
Wow.
That's shocking. Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh Steelers are number 10.
Okay.
Packers.
The Green Bay Packers are not in. They are number 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
This is all sports. Yeah.
All
How many
sports.
how many baseball
all
teams
sports.
are in the top
I'm
10?
sorry. Okay.
In the top 10, there are two Major League Baseball teams.
Boston Red Sox, the other one.
No.
Dodgers.
Cubbies.
No.
Really?
Cubs not
It's
in there?
neither. It's not the Dodgers or the Cubs.
Wow.
Correct.
Well, the Bulls.
The Chicago Bulls are number 4.
Okay. Celtics.
The Boston Celtics are
Yep. That's
not in the top 20.
Okay. Well, I'm trying
For
to think
real?
of like
No.
um
And this
Lakers?
is according to.
We already said the Lakers. They're number
YouGov.
5.
Yeah.
Oh, you said Lakers 5? Okay.
Yeah, Lakers are 5. I challenge some of these, but wait, I mean, when you Google it, this is the first thing that comes up.
Two baseball teams. One's
Yeah.
the Yankees.
2 baseball teams?
Yeah, 2 in the top.
One's the
10.
Yeah,
Yankees.
these are ranked by a census bureau called YouGov, so it's percentaged, according to a survey given to fans.
Does,
Is it the-
do you think
is
he
it-
means the New York Giants, or do you think he means the San Francisco Giants?
Well, I didn't say either of the Giants; they're not in there.
Oh,
Is it the
well, if you
Dodgers?
can-
The Dodgers are not in there.
are the Braves in there?
Yeah, number 9,
Yeah,
the
Okay,
Atlanta
so-
Braves.
that sounds right. The Yankees and the Braves. They're both hugely popular.
And they have a wide, like the
How many
the
football
Ye-
teams are
you
there?
know, okay, so 2 and 3 are football teams. 6 is a football team. 7 is a football team, and then you've already named the Steelers.
Wow.
Are the 49ers?
Yeah,
On that
number
list?
3. San Francisco 49ers are number 3.
Wow.
So the Niners, the Cowboys are on there. Are not on there.
Cowboys were on there.
No, they weren't.
They
they're
were
not
number
on here.
15 or something like that.
Oh wow.
Top 10. Let's see. Another sports or another football franchise is number 4. You said
Are the Bears on there?
The Chicago Bears are not on here, no.
I'm trying to think of
yeah.
the originals so that are
yeah.
Okay, so you've got the Yankees at number 1. You said the 49ers at number 3, the Bulls at number 4, the Lakers at number 5.
How about Philly?
That is number 7. The
about the
Philadelphia
Chiefs?
Eagles.
Eagles.
Okay, the Eagles are number 7. The Kansas City Chiefs are number 2.
Oh wow. What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kansas
That-
Yeah,
I mean-
Chiefs are
and
number
look who
2.
and look who called it.
Yeah.
So you've gotten you're missing one NFL team at number 6, and then you're missing something you're not going to get unless you think way outside the box.
How about the Bills?
Remember, all sports in the United States.
Oh, is it like NASCAR?
No,
No.
No, the Buffalo Bills are number 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. They're number 15.
So we're
looking
missing one more
for-
football team.
Yeah,
You're
we're looking for
missing
a
one
football
NFL team, and then you're missing a
Is it AFC or NFC?
AFC. And this would
Cleveland.
make sense.
Cleveland.
This will make sense when you.
I know it's the Raiders.
No, it's not the Raiders.
Oh wow! I would have said. I would have.
This will make sense when you hear it, because they're an old school team. They
The Browns.
no.
I already said
No.
Cleveland.
This will make sense when you hear it.
I would have stopped the Browns though. The Colts.
No, not the Colts.
The Jets.
Not the Jets.
Baltimore.
Not the Ravens. Fuck the Ravens.
So there's Dolphins. I'm going down. Dolphins, Jets, Bills. Oh, it's Patriots.
No.
Damn it.
Shocking. No, I'm out. The only other one I can think of is the Lions, but
You've said it, but you haven't said it is your final answer.
What do you mean? We said it, but it wasn't our final
Like
answer.
you're like counting teams. You know,
Yeah.
Dolphins.
the Miami Dolphins.
No
Oh,
joke.
The Miami Dolphins.
I would have thought the Jets because of
Well, Miami Dolphins were the only
yeah,
undefeated
the
team.
undefeated team.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're missing one out of the top 10,
and it's a
I
different
have,
sport.
I have a feeling that it will take some outside of the box thinking. You know, we could, I can give you hints, but you have to ask about it for a hint.
Okay. Is it a sport that involves many players?
donkeys. It's not the Broncos. That's funny.
That depends on your opinion of what is many players. I mean,
Is it more than 5 players on a team,
yes,
like on the field?
yes.
Is it more than 10?
No.
More than 5 players on the field, but not more than 10.
Is it played on a field?
It is.
Cricket?
No.
In America, that can't be an American thing. That's no. The sport.
This is very literally an American thing. That's a big hint right there.
Cornhole. We're talking cornhole.
No, we're not.
No,
Dude,
not
that's
5
fucking
players.
2 players.
You're
There's
just
5 players on one team, and it's quite literally just an American sport. It's not played in any other countries.
I didn't say it was just an American sport. I said that this team is quite literally American.
That doesn't help me.
quite literally American. So that's a big clue for somehow. Quite literally American.
And they got 47% popularity, which is the same exact number that the Philadelphia Eagles got.
Oh my gosh, so it's something big, huh?
Is the sport really popular or no?
Yeah, okay, this is a hint. Okay, now if I give you this hint, I'm going to make you get the title of this team exact or you get it wrong. Okay? It is not a big sport in the United States. On the world level, it is probably the biggest.
It's U.S. men's soccer.
You are incorrect.
I need to know how many players are on a team.
Is it like are you talking like Ryder Cup or something like that?
No.
How long are the halves? Are there halves, quarters? What are they?
In this particular sport, there are halves, and you really don't know when they're over.
I'm so lost. Is it hockey? It's
No.
not hockey.
No, they don't have halves. They have periods. There's 3 of them.
That's true.
There's halves and you don't really know when they're over.
Yeah, they do this bullshit called injury time, and just the clock keeps fucking running.
I already
If
said
it's
it. I
running
already
the
said
wrong
it.
way.
Is it women's soccer?
It is the United States women's national
soccer.
soccer team.
Wow.
Really? For
Now,
real?
now, what you didn't name in there was the most popular college football team. Can you name that?
Notre Dame.
Alabama.
By far, Notre Dame.
Notre Dame. Okay.
Yeah, Notre Dame, by far, Notre Dame. You know,
The Catholics.
They're watching them in the Vatican.
and I think this just puts it. Yeah, they should name it. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'm just we can always count on our friends over at the Two Penny.
So there was one topic that we failed to bring up tonight so far.
What is it have to do with the reigning National League MVP?
No. But
Okay,
what's that?
Good. Ronald Acuna
Ronald Acuna.
has torn his other ACL. You know.
No,
and,
I was talking
and-
about the
and
agreement.
he's severed what nuts that he has, left. Okay, this is gonna piss me off. All right, this fucking agreement. Yeah.
So the agreement between college football and the players. So this was brought on by a lawsuit, right?
No. Okay. So the agreement is that now colleges
Themselves.
can pay players up to a certain amount.
Right. So each college in the NCAA Division One that I read. This is what from the
That's-
article that I read.
FBS, yeah, they don't call it
Yeah.
Division One anymore.
All right. Fine. FBS.
But it's not just football; it's basketball. It's
Right. So
but-
each school gets a certain amount of money, and each school is allowed to spend up to $20 million a year paying their players in all sports. So that has to cover all sports. Now, I think the schools get to determine where they spend their money, right?
Yeah.
And it's not doesn't have to be spread evenly.
So football and basketball are going to take
Yeah.
the
yeah,
majority of that.
but I hate to be the bearer of bad news to people, but Title IX is going to have some say in how that money
Yeah,
is
right.
distributed.
Sure.
Right. So women's
Yeah.
sports will be paid as well.
Because the
Obviously.
bitches got to get the money.
But I guess
Equal money.
my question for you is, does that signal the end of college football?
It signals the end of amateur sports.
Right. Right.
You know, the only true now amateur sporting event's going to be the Olympics. You know, and guess
high
what?
school.
Because and guess what? Sponsorships pay those guys too. Because if you think Michael Phelps is hurting for cash,
Oh
No.
no.
you know what I'm saying? There is no professional swimming. I mean, the Olympics are the pinnacle of that.
Yeah.
So if you think Mary Lou Retton hurt for cash, I mean, she didn't.
Right.
She may be hurting for other reasons, but not for cash. But I mean, amateur sport. I mean, the college football purists like myself, like you guys, I wanted people like, I had to bring him up, but Tebow, he went to Florida because he wanted to be a Gator.
Right.
You know what I'm
Now
saying?
It's gonna be who's
Now it's going to
offer me the
be
most money.
who's going to give me the most money. They've got to have some contracts in there that state that you got to stay for the duration. You got to stay until you're eligible to go to the NFL. The NFL is getting what they want, which is basically a minor league system.
Right.
A way to train people. I think you're going to see a lot more NFL coaches go coach, down in college football, because it's going to be mirrored. My problem was, and I was listening to, do you guys know who the McGee reporter from Game Day is? The Southern guy.
I think so.
Okay, so he had a good point, and he was saying, when my Saturdays look like my Sundays, why do we need Saturday anymore? Because college football is about the pageantry. College football is about the tradition. But when my Saturdays start to look like my Sundays, what's the point?
Yep. Right.
Because they really are, traditionally two different games. But now they're coming with the same rules. I bet you're going to see a change to the college football pass interference rule, where it's going to be a spot foul now, just like the NFL. and not 15 yards from the line of scrimmage. I bet you're going to see 2 feet down in college football. You know, and Bigfoot is over at St. Joseph's. You know,
My kid is making a ton of noise. Yeah.
yeah. So I just think you're going to see a lot more parallels between Saturdays and Sundays. And forgive me, but that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Well, they won't. I mean, the athletes won't be getting paid as much as they would be in the NFL.
Yeah, but they still have NIL. This is a side of NIL.
Right.
You know, so if they want to do sponsorships or whatnot, or have booster pay them, this is just, what can the school pay them?
Yeah.
Right.
No, I see. I mean, but I think now that schools have the ability to pay the athletes, then maybe they'll have some control over transfers with contracts and stuff like that. I would think that now that they can pay their players, there will be contracts involved. Surely.
I mean, there's got to be some safeguard for the universities because, let's just take football, for example, in the FBS. Now, you're introducing a 12-team playoff.
Right.
Yeah, so you have – do you know how many SEC teams are projected to be in that fucking playoff?
At least 8.
A lot.
It's got to be 8.
Right? A lot. A lot. And right now, projected to win it is Texas. Right
Really?
now. Yeah, they're projected to win it. But you could
They're an SEC school.
You could very well have a Final Four that is all SEC. I mean, with all due respect to Michigan and Ohio State.
Sure.
And Clemson and Florida State.
Well,
God knows Florida State deserves to fucking be there, St. Joe.
Oh boy, here we go.
Hey, they got DJ as quarterback this year.
Uyunglele.
Yeah.
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 That
So
should be
let's see if they go undefeated and then he gets hurt the second to last game of the season and they get held out by going undefeated. But this year it's on the field. They can qualify. They're going to keep them out of a 12-team playoff if they're undefeated? I think not.
Maybe. We'll see.
Can Wisconsin get in there? I can tell you who's not getting in there. Florida and Oklahoma, they're not getting in there.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a rough. We've already talked about it. It's going to be a rough year for.
Yeah,
it'll be a rough transition for Oklahoma. They have a really hard.
We need to
schedule.
make a bet who loses more games, Florida or Oklahoma. I'm taking
What
Florida.
if they tie? What if they tie?
I'm taking UF. Who wins more games, Florida, Oklahoma, or Wisconsin?
Eesh.
I bet Wisconsin.
I haven't.
Wisconsin's in the Big Ten. They don't play anybody.
They do better.
No. Who wins more games? Okay, Wisconsin, Florida, or Oklahoma?
Florida lost their best player, right?
Yeah, but we got the number. We got the number one quarterback as a backup quarterback, and we still got the Messiah Graham Mertz from Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Oklahoma has the most wins.
Out of the three?
Yeah, not by a large margin, by one victory.
All right. So Oklahoma has the third hardest schedule in college football. The only thing that beats that is Florida has the hardest college football. Right. So let's see where Wisconsin, Wisconsin, 2024 football schedule. Okay. All right. So they start off this 2024 campaign. Oh shit. By playing the powerhouse on August 31st of Western Michigan University.
Nice.
Okay.
That can be a tough game sometimes. Western Michigan can be good at times.
Yeah. Then who's coming into Madison is the powerhouse of the University of South Dakota. The only thing, South Dakota has 8 people per square mile. To put that into perspective, that is 8 more people per square mile than there is on the surface of Mars. But, however, on September 14th, guess who's coming to Madison? the Alabama Crimson Tide.
No way.
Mm.
Alabama Crimson Tide is coming
They're playing-
September 14th, 2024, 12 o'clock p.m. It's going to be snowing in September.
It could very well
Alabama,
be.
man. They're going to Wisconsin
Okay,
and
so-
to Oklahoma.
Okay, so that's 2-1. Okay, because they could get their fucking ass kicked by Alabama, right? I don't care who the coach is. I could be the coach of Alabama and win that game. So then on September 28th, Wisconsin travels to L.A. to play the University of Southern California.
No Caleb Williams.
Remember, USC is in the Big Ten now.
Yep.
I forgot about that.
Okay, so I'm gonna go. That's a cross country, St. Joe. So I'm not giving Wisconsin that win. So we're
Yeah,
we're 2-2. Then we go back to Madison and Purdue comes to town. I'm gonna give you that win, 3-2. Okay. Then you got to go play Rutgers. I'm gonna give you that win. So now we're 4-2. Then you got to go to Northwestern. Now you're 5-2. But then Penn State comes to town, 5-3. 5-3. And then you have to go to Iowa. You're losing that game too, 5-4. And then you got to love this new Big Ten. Oregon comes to Madison.
Oops.
They got some good games at Madison.
You know, and so
Alabama
I forgot
and
where
Oregon,
we're at,
man.
but we don't have. We're 5-5 maybe.
Yeah,
at this
5-5.
point. Okay, and then you have to go to Lincoln to play Nebraska. You probably beat them, so we're going 6-5, and then Minnesota comes to town. I think you could beat them 7-5 is what I'm calling Wisconsin's, which is better than I think Florida's going to do, and better than I think Oklahoma's going to do.
Yeah. I'd take 7-5.
It's going to be close. Do you think Oklahoma and Florida will both be what, 6-6 or 5-7?
I think 5-7. I think they have hard schedules, you know,
Yeah, they do.
and because
They do.
there's this bullshit right here. Okay, so look at this fucking bullshit right here. On August 30th, Oklahoma plays Temple,
Hey, they got to have a win at some point.
and then on
know what I'm saying?
September 7th, Oklahoma plays Houston.
Houston can be good.
Okay, and then on September 14th, Oklahoma plays Tulane. To put that into perspective, by this time, Wisconsin's played USC and Alabama.
Right.
Well, Oklahoma's
Right.
schedule is completely backloaded. I mean,
Okay, and then Oklahoma has to play Tennessee. You're fucked. And then Oklahoma probably beat Auburn, but Oklahoma's
that's at Auburn,
yeah, it's at Auburn. Red River rivalry. I'm not.
Texas. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, that's a coin flip every year. You throw rank out the window. Probably beat South Carolina. I don't think Oklahoma's beaten Ole Miss. Not at Ole Miss. Oklahoma could definitely beat the powerhouse from the University of Maine. This is an intriguing game right here. Oklahoma at Missouri. That's an
Yep.
intriguing game right
old,
there.
Old conference foes. from
Right.
Back in the Big 12 days. So,
And then Alabama at Oklahoma. Okay, you're not winning that. And this is an intriguing game right here. This is going to be a must watch. November 30th, Oklahoma at LSU.
be fun to watch. Look, I think what you're going to see is you're going to see a lot of close games with Oklahoma that they're not going to win. That's what I think you're going to see.
Okay.
I think that the game with Alabama at OU will be closer than you think.
All right. Since we did those two, let's listen to this fucking bullshit. Starting off August 31st, Miami at Florida.
Miami sucks.
Okay. Then we get September 7th, the powerhouse of Samford coming to the swamp. Then we got Texas A&M at Florida.
Yeah.
Then we got Florida at Mississippi State. That's a coin flip.
Yep.
Trust me, this will be a game, and it will be uncomfortable, and I would not text me during this game. UCF at Florida.
But that'll be fun, right?
Yeah. And then on October 12th, you got Florida at Tennessee. Then you got Kentucky at Florida. Then you got Florida at Georgia here in Jayville. Then you got Florida at Texas. Then you got LSU at Florida. You got Ole Miss at Florida. You got Florida at Florida State.
That's a tough schedule.
Wait, having
Jeez.
Texas, going to Texas? Oh my
Oh
god.
yeah. At Texas.
At Texas.
That's after you play Georgia. You get to go to Texas and play Texas to come home to play LSU.
Yikes.
So yeah, I thought Oklahoma's schedule was
That's
bad.
a gauntlet.
That's bad. That's the worst you could possibly have gotten in college football, right?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, they have the hardest schedule.
Right. So yeah, what I see, I mean, you could see a couple 5-7 teams at the end of that. Oklahoma.
I think
Florida.
5 wins, but mark my words, the Gators will lose a game that they should win, probably to UCF.
Sure.
But they will win a game that they have no business winning. You know,
Yeah.
Probably the LSU game.
So
Because they're down a quarterback.
I can see that. I also think here's the flip side of this. I think Oklahoma is going to fare better than you think as far as they're going to lose games, but they're going to be close.
Of course you think that. You have these burgundy glasses that you look through.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. Mine are orange or blue. I get it. But see, I've been conditioned because my teams suck year in and year out. I haven't won shit in college football since 2008. Okay? So I'm conditioned as a Jacksonville Jaguar fan to expect the worst. You hope for the best, but you expect the worst. But hoping for the best, as we all know, hope is not a motherfucking business plan. So I'm just saying 5 fucking wins. You know, yes, we did get a question in our college football preview show in August. We will eventually cover the new conference team and makeups, and there's a lot of school changing conferences.
The Big Ten's one I haven't really.
We all need to brush up and who moved where.
Yeah.
Is there still a
what
Pac-12?
conferences are what. Yeah.
You know, is there still a Pac-12? I mean, isn't UCF in the Big 12 now?
Yes, and they got a bunch of other teams from the Pac.
Right.
Right.
Where's West Virginia now? You know, where are they at in there? I mean,
They're still in the Big 12.
See, these are the questions that our audience is listening. Right. You know.
It's going to be weird
they're
now
wondering.
because, like, you know, what's funny about all that is you used to watch conference games because they bore on your schedule. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, you used to watch the outcomes of, like, the Oklahoma State, Iowa State games. You know, you used to watch them just to see how those teams would play because you had to play both of those teams. Those games are all going away. Right?
Yeah, and it's all about now the marquee non-conference matchups. Right. You know, like I didn't know until just a second ago the fucking Alabama's going to play Wisconsin.
Yeah.
I think that's an interesting game.
At Wisconsin.
Yeah,
Alabama's traveling. Usually Alabama, the Nick Saban Crimson Tide didn't travel for a fucking person. You know what I'm saying? You had to come down to Tuscaloosa, and after you're done with the game, we go fuck our sister. You know, I mean.
Well,
I'm just saying.
We made it there.
Okay.
We made it there.
What's going on Finding Your Way?
Once again, you're going to have to tune in to find out.
God damn it. Can we make it a little longer?
Last week's was a little longer.
I have a 30-minute drive every Thursday morning. You know? We got a question from the audience here. Is what's the over-under on St. Joe passing out during this episode?
It's good. It's a very good over-under.
I wonder if I could pose a question to a certain listener. What's the over-under that we're ever going to get the last 3 episodes of the Two Penny Podcast?
Well, there's 2.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I sit corrected. You know, 2. You know,
yeah. He'll do them when he's goddamn good and ready.
And that's
about right.
Good and ready.
That's about right.
That's a man after my own heart right there.
Yeah.
You know. So, St. Joe, what's going on with you?
Dude, all sorts of new things.
Over at the offices of Nailed It.
There's a lot of shit going on. Just that's it.
That was
there's
anticlimactic.
Yeah, that's there's all kinds of fun stuff now. So yeah, I don't know. I figure out what I'm doing on the weekend and then figure it out.
Okay, so nothing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're just gonna have to listen.
Okay, yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, well, yeah, we're winding up the series on video games, and no one's bitched about the video game, thing. I've actually gotten
Why would
some,
they?
yeah, gotten some nice, but episode 198 coming soon.
In dog years.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
but yeah, we're having fun over at unfpod.com. Just
Yeah, man.
yeah, hanging out, doing our thing. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Anything else you want to beat to death, fellas?
No.
No.
Yeah. All right. Go check out our friends over at unfpod.com and check out Finding Your Way on Thursday. Check out Nailed It next Monday. You can check out Stupid History Minute every day. And Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you can listen to the newest podcast on the Unfiltered Studios podcast network. Show Me Your Trips, a guide to traveling and beyond. So, with that, for HO, for Beebs, my name is Kev. We'll catch you guys next week.
Catch you on the flippity flop.